Hey everybody, it's Trevor Rice, just in the 1035 The Light studio right now, hanging out. As today's vlog, I'm not sure what it's going to be about. We're just creating this intro because we're just going to leave it open-ended. We'll see what happens as the day progresses here, but I appreciate you hanging out. Come along for the ride. Alright, so for those of you who work in radio or work with audio, this probably looks like a mess right now, but what I'm doing right now is merging the weather, mixing down the weather. So we have the music bed, the intro, the music bed, and then the voice file. So we're mixing it down right now. It's going to sound like this. I'm going to turn it up real quick here, and so when I play it, you'll be able to hear it.
Here's the latest forecast from your weather authority at Eyewitness News.
It's the last day of July, not feeling so much like July. Warm, yes, with a high in the upper 80s, but not that humid at all. Light breeze from the northeast, plenty of sunshine. Enjoy the rest of this Monday. And we're kicking off August on a pretty good note after a cool low tonight in the low 60s. Another mix of sunshine and clouds tomorrow. Stays dry, the humidity stays low, and a high right back in the upper 80s. For Eyewitness News, your weather authority, I'm meteorologist Ron Rhodes.
Alright, so once all that looks good, we're just going to put a tail on the end of this. Bring this back. And we'll just go ahead and mix down all files here. And that's what it looks like all together. We'll go ahead and just get rid of the end. And that's what that looks like. We have produced the weather for the afternoon. So you've seen those records that I have hanging up in the front studio in 106.9, right? Well, we have a bunch more just loose records just in the back here that we just have stored away. And there's even more in the rack room, way in the back. But here in 103.5, we have a bunch of the old records stored, and so let's go through a few of them and just see if any of them are good. So as you can see, we have a bunch of records here. We have records there. And we have even more old records here. Now, back in the day, this building, WTTL, would get mailed records just like a lot of other radio stations. Record companies would send these labels out, and the radio station would play the music the old-fashioned way. Not so much the case anymore with the way automation systems work in 2023, but you know, these do make great decorations. There's Olivia Newton-John right there. In fact, we have a couple of hers just lingering. And I know we have... like, I found a Billy Ocean one down here. This Billy Ocean one would have been so good. But the DJs back in the day decided it was going to be a good thing to draw and write things on the records. And so... Billy Ocean, his record was ruined. And they wrote stuff on the back, too. Really disappointing. So we'll just put that back in there. Let's see who else we have. I know we have some country artists somewhere. I don't know. I can get close and you can kind of see like who all is here. Some of them are just in such bad shape from wear and tear over the years. Here, let me see if I can pull out some of these and we can actually get a better look. Alright, so we'll go through some of these records here. Hooked on Rock Classics. More Olivia Newton-John. Oh, John Denver. Ronnie Millsap. Alabama. Oh, Bobby, Melodies of Love. Four Tops. I think we actually play one or two of their songs on Classic Hits. I think that album cover is pretty cool. Rest in peace. What a legend. Kenny Rogers. The most creepy cover. That is a creepy cover. You know that guy who's photobombing in the background of a great, portrait with your significant other on the beach, and you have that creeper in the background that's just photobombing? That's what I picture. Best of Peter and Gordon. Not sure what's all back here. Oh, Rick Nelson. Another Ronnie Millsap album. Bobby Vinton. Neil Diamond. Why does he look like Dracula? Like, doesn't he look like he'd play Dracula? With that cover. Donny Osmond. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Play a couple of their songs. Another Alabama. Elvis. I might get some hate on this. Not an Elvis fan. He sounds the same in every single song. You know how people don't enjoy Nickelback? I think Elvis sounds the exact same in every single one of his songs. Let's go through a few more of these rapid fire. So they would always label these because, well, the radio stations were never able to actually do anything with these. It would be, I believe, illegal for them to actually sell this stuff. So I think the best we could typically do back then was just give them away. But why would you do that? These are so collectible. It sucks that many of them have something written on them. Ruins the value of them. So I just went ahead and hung up a bunch in the front studio, and I'll show you up there at the end of this video. There's another Elvis one. Tom Jones. Olivia Newton-John. Aretha Franklin. I think she put out a religious album. Kim Carnes. I didn't even realize we had that album. I'm actually noticing some more albums that we could actually hang up in the front studio, honestly. Not sure who's on this one. Not sure if any of these albums are even good. Tom P. Hall. That one was being held. If there's two weapons in life that are dangerous to man, duct tape and WD-40. Those are the only weapons you need to make sure you're successful in life. I didn't know we had that album either. Heck, I'm going through so many. I've gone through these albums, I swear, before, like 2 or 3 times, and I'm still discovering artists that I must have just skipped over them. There's a Christmas one. I don't think anybody's ready for Christmas yet. the Nighthawks. Alright, so let's go through some of these. Original country. And then we have some records that are not even in their case. The Nelsons. Got some Christmas. I don't think anybody wants to think about Christmas right this moment, do you? Unless, of course, you're celebrating a birthday in December. Then maybe December is a good month for you. Alright, let's go ahead. Now that we have enough of these out, we'll just go ahead and... Johnny Mathis. There's no shortage of Johnny Mathis in this collection, I swear. Who's that? John Denver's greatest hits. I feel like we had another John Denver we just saw a little bit ago with his greatest hits. Ann Murray. Another Olivia Newton-John. Elvis. Alright, so there's more Ann Murray. In fact, it might be better for us to just start over here. I know it's kind of dark, but it'd be such a pain to try to pull all these out. Let's go over this way. That is... I can't tell what that is. Some of these are so worn, it's hard to tell sometimes which is the cover and what is the back of these things. I think these are mostly holiday down here. Frank Sinatra's greatest hits. Oh, Frankie boy. Oh, and guess who? It's old Johnny again. In case you haven't figured out, we have like, I think 8 or 9 albums possibly. Another Frank Sinatra. A little older right there. I think we've pretty much hit the artist here that we're gonna. Johnny is all over the place. Alright. Let's conclude this video in the front and give you a showing of all the albums hanging up in the studio, artists that we play on Classic Hits. I know you've kind of seen them from the first video I posted, but I'll go a little bit slower this time. Okay, so here we are back in the front studio. And so these are the ones I actually pulled. You saw all those records we were dealing with throughout the video. I actually pulled these out before. And so I think I've scanned through them a little bit before, but I never actually like slowed down and went through them. And it's just a good collaboration of records that we have hanging up in the studio. I felt like we had these decorations at one point back in the 103.5 studio, and I decided it was a good idea we moved them up front where everybody could actually enjoy and look at them. So here we are. We moved them up here. So I'll just kind of show you around. And I put them in a way that it was going to be decorative, and I like the color balance. Plus it gives something to talk about for the most part when people come in here. And that's the biggest thing. So today's vlog was kind of uneventful. I didn't know where I was going to go with it. But you know, it kind of worked out. Showed off some records. Showed you how I produce things for a moment. Just kind of a chill day. We'll have another vlog as the week progresses. Who knows what other shenanigans we can get into. Until next time, though, I appreciate you guys popping by. Give a subscription. Subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this thing. Be good to one another. Talk to you soon.